everybody. How are we all doing? Morning, Lucas. How are you? You're the only person that said good morning so far, so I'm only going to single you out. How is everybody? Happy Monday. It's almost Christmas. Clean break this morning on the FTSE. Wow. Really quick clean break on the FTSE this morning. I'll have a look at that in a sec. So, it's Monday. Morning, CK. Morning, Francesco. We'll start off with the news, etc. So this morning we're just going to look at all the markets, have a look at everything, where everything is, see if there's anything setting up. There's a lot of movement this morning. We'll have a look into that in a second as to why that's happened. But it's to do with China's new monetary policy stance. So there's going to be a lot of movement on a lot this morning. As you can see, the market is taking off a little bit. Really, it's just going to be a sort of shuffling of funds. So we'll have a look at that in a minute and what it might mean for moving forward. Morning, Barry. Morning, Peter. Morning, Dallas. Good evening, even from the Gold Coast. It's very nice. Right. So let's just quickly look at the indices. DAX has broken long this morning, although not really gone anywhere. Sort of pulling back. FTSE, I'm out flat. Didn't quite get anywhere this morning, so I've got a 2R trailer that I use. We hit ADR, look. So basically straight up 2.5R, didn't get a chance to get to target, and it's pulled back and taken out on the trailing stop. So tiny little profit on the FTSE this morning, nothing to write home about. DAX looks like it's going to hedge. So DAX downside target, if that hedge happens, which it looks like will be the low from Friday. Upside, DAX is all-time highs. So, yeah, upside wherever. So I'll just target 5R to the upside. But this thing really, really needs a rest. Absolutely exhausted, DAX. Hasn't stopped. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bull days in a row. This thing's on fire at the moment. Absolutely on fire. So we'll see what happens today. But yeah, not looking like... There you go. So it's hedged. So downside target is Friday's low. And see if we can get down there and get out of that one. That's unfortunate on the FTSE. But anyway. Right. So we'll have a look at the news and everything. Morning, Jean-Roger. Morning, Virginia. So just quickly before we go into the news, there's one ADR today, Aussie New Zealand. That is debatable whether that's an ADR. So whenever I see ADR hits on the Australian or New Zealand pairs on a Monday morning, I'm always looking at what happened over the weekend gap, because it spreads massively, the Aussie and the New Zealand overnight. There's no liquidity at the open in New Zealand, so you get these big horrible broker candles in. So that move there from low to where we closed is about 15 pips. Quarter of an ADR is around about 12, 13. So this pretty much is an ADR hit, but it's probably just an ADR 100 rather than 125, but it is signaling 125 ADR. So there is an ADR reversal opportunity on that one this morning. Swap short is good as well, 1.7, so that is a good looking short. Obviously it's quite weak at the moment, so there is potential for a pullback to get underway, maybe back into that propulsion gap there before that low was broken off the news. So there is plenty of upside room, but it's not stopping so far today, so that thing is off. So I will be getting in a short on that if it does signal to go short, but if it continues just rallying, we'll wait for it. So that's my moving average trigger for the position trade at EA. So no signal at the moment, but wait and see what happens. So if we can get a push back up into 150, 175 ADR, that would be a much nicer entry, but we'll see. So that's your only ADR today. Nothing else has hit. Nothing's hit monthly ranges yet either. RSIs, there's quite a few, but we'll go through all the pairs in a bit and look at everything anyway. Right, so today there's no news today. Very, very quiet on the news front. So nothing scheduled basically today, but obviously we've got some movement off of the China news that's just come in. Tomorrow is the cash rate for the Aussie, so they're forecast to stay the same. There is a chance, I think, that the Aussies might drop that. We'll see. Press conference will be where we find out more information, but there is a possibility of maybe dropping down to 4.1 tomorrow. Difficult to tell, but we'll see. So at the moment, it's forecast to stay the same, but we'll see on that one tomorrow morning. So that's overnight for me. So I'll find out about that one when I wake up. Wednesday, we've got the CPI for the US. CPI is forecast to bounce. So if we do get that bounce, obviously, there's a good chance that we'll push up quite hard on the US dollar. If you look at last week's, where's the PMI's gone there? If you look at last week's PMI figures, they were really down on the forecast, basically. So CPI is affected by PMI, so purchasing managers index feeds into the consumer price index. So basically what businesses pay for their raw goods and services affects what we pay as consumers for the goods that they sell us. So the fact that that PMI has come down could indicate there's a potential drop in CPI coming, but we'll have to wait and see what the numbers come out as. At the moment, it's all forecast to stay fairly stable, stroke small bounce. So there's a chance of a bounce on the US, but we'll wait and see what happens on the figure. The rates in Canada are going down by 0.5% on Wednesday. Wednesday. So weakness in the Canadian dollar. Obviously, we've seen weakness in the CAD. As you can see, huge weakness in the CAD over the last few months. So if you look at any CAD pair, they've been selling into this Canadian dollar. So we know that they were knowing that the rates were going to drop. So the market's been very, very weak on the CAD. It's not been helped by what's the oil price hasn't been particularly great either. So bear with me one sec. So there's potential movement on the Canadian on Wednesday. Don't forget the market has already factored this in. So that 3.25 is expected. If we do not get the 3.25 and we get 3.5, I mean, we wouldn't get a 3. I mean, moving 0.75% on an interest rate is pretty much unheard of, apart from COVID times. But if we got maybe a 3.5 instead of a 3.25, expect a very strong bounce in the Canadian dollar. So a lot of strength in the CAD. This is already factored in. They've already done that. So if we get the 3.25, you won't see a massive move start immediately. The press conference is where we will see the movement come in. So this is where the market moves. When we get an expected figure, it's not that moves the market, it's the press conference. So it's the same with the Aussies. Yeah, so this is where the movement's going to come, because the market is now looking at, we got what we thought, excellent, where are we going next? What are you going to do with your interest rates moving forward? So the press conference is where we find the movement. So usually somewhere around about, and it varies depending on how long the press conference goes on for, but anything from 15 minutes to 45 minutes after the press conference starts is when you'll start to get the movement. So if they say interest rates down to 3.25, this is where we're going to stick for the next quarter, there won't be much movement, but the banks and institutions will know what to do with the Canadian dollar moving forward. So that's where we're going to get the movement. Crude's coming out obviously Wednesday as well, as usual. Unemployment for the Aussie, so really big commodity week this week. It's all about Aussie and CAD. Unemployment rate for the Aussie, that is forecast to bounce as well. So if that does happen, there's some potential movement coming on Thursday morning as well. So we got Tuesday morning, potentially a load of movement on the Aussie. Thursday morning, same thing. We got the SMB rate coming out. They're dropping again. We know the Swiss is weak. They're forecasting to drop it again. The Swiss love to give us a shock every now and again, actually on a regular basis. So as you can see, if we look at the last 5 SNB rate announcements, 3 out of the last 5, they've done something unforecast, and they are notorious for doing this. They would just basically go, do you know what? We're just going to drop it to 0, and the market will go mental. So just be aware, Swiss, huge movement potentially on Thursday as well there. So it's a really busy week for news this week. Then Thursday afternoon, we've got the euro rates. We're dropping from 3.4 to 3.15. So another 0.25 drop on the euro. Again, this is forecast. We were expecting that to come. We got PPI for the US on Thursday, along with the unemployment claims. And then the press conference there is where we're going to find out what the forward guidance is for the ECB. So again, that number there, we kind of knew we were going to get. We will probably get it. There is a possibility that they could drop a shock in there and drop it below 3%. Very unlikely. There is also the possibility they may stay where they are, but it is likely they're going to drop the rates. That's what we're interested in. Lagarde's going to tell us what the potential movement is moving forward. Barrier Man's not in here this morning, is he? But if Barrier Man was here, we can play the Barrier Man game. Anyway, so yeah, that's on Thursday as well. And then Friday, we've just got GDP for the pound. So a bit of a weak Friday, but the week for news this week is huge. So we've got 3 interest rate changes. The second most important news event for the US, which is the CPI number. And we've got unemployment rates coming out. So it's a big week this week. So be prepared for massive volatility every single day. Obviously, the market will just take off in whatever direction it needs to for whatever reason. So we'll see what happens. Morning, Mark. So those are your news events for the week coming up. Again, it's going to be one of those weeks where the news either goes with you or it doesn't. If it doesn't, you scale in. If it does, you get out. So over the weekend, we've had a hell of a lot of stuff happening as well. So Syria has been completely taken over by the rebels. Assad's been kicked out. So we've got a leadership change in Syria. Russia has taken the Syrian president in and given him asylum. So obviously Russia is involved in this as well. There's all sorts of political wranglings going on under the hood, obviously, as you can imagine. So there's potential volatility more volatility in the Middle East, and stuff just kicks off there all the time at the moment, as we know. So huge volatility. One of the main problems we've got with all of this area is oil. So oil is flowing through this area and produced by this area a lot, obviously, as we know. So any disruption to oil is going to make the price of oil go through the roof. If the price of oil goes through the roof, currencies get liquidated to drive that oil price up, and you'll find massive strength in the Canadian and the US. So just bear that in mind if it does kick off anymore. We've also got China overnight has announced that they are going to change their monetary policy for the first time in nearly 15 years. So there's their CPI and PPI numbers coming out, a little bit down on forecast, but this is the main thing that has happened this morning, basically. China's going to change its fiscal policy to be more proactive next year. This is, I suspect, a direct response to Trump's tariffs, basically, on China. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to alter their monetary policy to combat the trade embargo and to make their currency more attractive. So obviously we know with this BRICS thing going on, there is a big push at the moment for the East to try and basically take the power away from the West. So reduce the world's reliance on the dollar. Over 50% of all transactions worldwide are US dollar based. Oil, gold, everything that happens basically is transacted in US dollars because it's the world's strongest currency. They want to change this. They want a new currency style and a new currency system where transactions are not done via the US dollar, which will obviously weaken the US dollar to the point where it'll not necessarily collapse, but it ain't going to help the US economy. So this obviously, when you get someone like Trump coming in and threatening China to put all the prices up on imports, exports, etc., they have to react, and this is their reaction. So this is the first time in 15 years, roughly. I think it's 2010 or something, 2011. It's the first time they've shifted their. This is the way we're now going to do things. Yeah, a little bit like the Swiss did when they removed the cap on the Swiss franc. The Japanese did last year, or rather this year. They've decided to increase interest rates for the first time in 2 decades. Haven't done it before. So they're just changing the way that they operate, basically. So China and Japan have both this year gone, right, we're going to do things different moving forward. So it completely changes the way that those currencies are going to move, the amount of transactions that's going to go through them. So as you can see, there's been a bit of a reaction to that this morning. The Hang Seng Index taken off, obviously. So in effect, it will be good for China. So as soon as I see the word Bank of Japan and FX next to each other, I'm paying attention. Okay. So yeah, so that basically is what's happened overnight. So we've had a bit of movement sparking off this morning across the board. So things have started to take off. Mainly the Australian dollar has absolutely flown this morning. Real big strong move on the Aussie, as you can see. Not too much movement on the yen. Obviously, the Aussie, potentially this movement is also being caused by banks and institutions reshuffling their positions ready for tomorrow. Because obviously tomorrow we've got the Aussie rate being announced. So they're basically buying the Australian dollar, assuming that is going to stay as it is. But we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow. So bit of movement this morning. So that's your news over the weekend and what we've got coming up this week. Let's just have a quick look at the indices. Christmas trees on the FTSE. So green, red, just not going anywhere. Dead. Rejection on the DAX. Just got another alert. Aussie dollar CAD has just hit ADR as well. So there you go. So there's your Aussie CAD ADR hit. So yeah, big strong moves on that. Whether or not this will revert today, that's on its way to hitting my target actually. So close. I'm just going to take that off. So just closing out Aussie CAD. Stick it in the bank. So that was a ADR reversal from Wednesday last week up into target. So that was the target up in propulsion. But might as well just take it because then I can concentrate. I hate having massive, not massive amounts of money, but amounts of money sitting there very close to target. Makes me want to constantly watch it. So if it's shut, I won't watch it. There we go. So there we go. So that's your news. RSI's is loads. So we're going to go through all the pairs this morning. If there's any pairs specifically you want to look at in any more detail, let me know. But I'm just going to whiz through them all this morning and just see where everything is. For the members in here at the moment, I'm just going to quickly go over the other 2 strategies that we're running at the moment in forward test. So this is the lazy trader strategy. Why is that taking a long and a short? I'm not bothered because it's made both have hit TP, but why is the question? Something's wrong there, isn't it? Weird. So I'm just thinking out loud. Well, I'm not. I'm just thinking quietly. How that can take a long and a short at the same time. Don't know. I'll have to look into that. That's worrying because we're running a forward test on an EA. For those of you who don't know, because you're not in the member streams, we're running a forward test on a strategy that we back tested to make sure it works as it did in the back test. And it has until that particular point there, where it's suddenly taken 2 trades in each direction. I'm just going through the logic in my head. I can't figure out how that could possibly happen because it's an if-or statement, basically. If this condition is true, do this or do that. There's no... Could be broker spread. It could be broker spread. Because the logic is... if we are below the open, do one thing. If we are above the open, do the other. If at 11 o'clock the spread was huge, which it wouldn't be on a pound US dollar pair, not at that time of night. Shouldn't be anyway. I wonder if this is a Friday thing. Sorry. I will get on with the analysis in a minute. I just need to quickly try and figure out what might have happened here because it could be a Friday thing. Where are we? Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. No. Okay, I'll have to check the logic on that. Anyway, strategy's doing well, up 2%. We have been sitting in drawdown. We know it sits in drawdown. It's a position trading strategy based on overnight Asian movement. So basically, it scalps a quick, small, fast move overnight, as you can see. If it can't scalp that move, it turns it into a position trade and just waits to scalp out the next day. So it goes into drawdown for days on end on some occasions, but the idea is the ones that go into drawdown, we position trade our way out of those. The ones that don't go into drawdown, we just bank on a constant basis. So as you can see, it's banking constantly, 0.25%, 0.5% a day, day in, day out. That's all it does, basically. So it's up 2% on the month. Sitting in drawdown, we've got 1, 2, 3 positions, which will probably close out another 30 odd, 40 odd dollars. And then we've got Aussie New Zealand, which is looking like it's going to escape today. So that if we get one more hour of movement on the Aussie New Zealand today, that'll be done. Euro pound is the only thing it's stuck in at the minute, and it can't get out because this euro pound has just gone sideways. So since we got into it, it's literally done nothing but flip flop. So that was it dropped for 2 days, but it's been nothing but flip flop since. So literally looking for this low to hold and then push up. We need literally an ADR out of it. That's all. It just hasn't done it. So so that's doing pretty well. The RSI, not the RSI, the mean reversion strategy, or rather the trend pullback strategy, is doing very well. We're up 8% this week. This month. Doing very, very well. Hardly any DD, it's a stop loss based strategy, so it doesn't really have massive DD. But yeah, 8% month so far. So we know this strategy it kills it during trending market conditions. That's the whole point. It's a trend pullback strategy. We finally got some trend over the last week, as you can see. Yeah. So it's done exactly what it says on the tin. Yeah, in a trend it does a massive profit. So we'll see how we get on with the rest of December, but that's doing very well this month. It's not back, it hasn't recouped last month's losses yet, but it literally needs another couple of days of trend and it'll bank another 2k. So this will be up by the end of this week, I reckon, especially with the amount of movement we've got on the Australasian pairs, which is going to move the yen pairs, and the Swiss franc obviously is going to move this week. So if we've got any Swiss positions on when that news comes out on the Swissy, there's a good chance of making a very nice profit on that as well. So potential on that today, that's good. So yeah, so those two are working very well. But I'm going to keep them forward testing for December, and we'll see how we get on. I need to check that logic. Something if I'm wrong there. New Zealand dollar yen has just hit ADR as well. So you got an ADR hit on the New Zealand. So the New Zealand dollar and the Aussie dollar both off today. So commodity pairs on the move. So not quite sure. This is obviously off the back of the Australian interest rate decision, I guess. And obviously they're in the Australasian area. So anything that happens with the yuan, they will obviously get affected by that as well, a lot more than the other pairs will. So this is probably something to do with what's going on with the China thing, and also the movement preempting the move on the Australian dollar this week. So right, so let's have a look through the FX pairs in total. Morning JC. With those strategies you don't filter with the swap filter? No, it's just trading, normal strategy. The trend pullback strategy is a stop loss based strategy, so it doesn't matter about swaps really, because it's using stops, so it gets stopped out within a day, 2 days max really. So you're only ever going to have 1 or 2 overnight holds on it. The other one, yeah, there's an argument for using a swap filter on the other one, but it's not. So. The whole point of forward testing is to do what you did in the strategy tester. The strategy tester doesn't use swap filtering. So in live testing, we won't be using swap filtering either, because the idea is we want to generate profit, but in the same way as that we do in the strategy tester. But the problem with swaps obviously is they change on a regular basis. So all the Aussie swaps are going to change tomorrow. All the Swiss franc and the euro swaps are all going to change on Thursday. So yeah, it's a constantly moving thing, swap. So you've got to, you can trade in line with it from a trading costs perspective when you're live trading strategies, but I'm forward testing those strategies basically. So please turn my volume up. My volume, Franco, is just off the red, exactly where it always is. I think you need to turn your volume up. My volumes are exactly the same as normal, so I can get closer to the microphone, but it might sound a little bit distorted. Franco, have you got any cotton wool buds? Just I don't know. It's nothing's changed. It's doing exactly what I did on every other day. So I can't really put it. If I turn it up, it's just going to distort. Sound is good, Lucas says. I think it's your end, Franco. Right. So we're going to whiz through all the pairs this morning. Have a look at where everything is. See if there's any opportunities for entries on anything specific. Tralala, do you plan to diversify what you trade because the new strategies look kind of similar to position trading? No, one of them is a stop loss strategy, nothing to do with position trading. The other one is a position trading strategy, and yes, that is going to be part of my diversification if it works. So yeah. But I'm also going to be doing a lot more support resistance trading next year as well. So I'm taking the next couple of weeks off over Christmas because it's always crap Christmas trading. So basically, and I always do this at Christmas, I basically do a complete recap of the year, analyze what's gone on, what's happened, just look back, basically spend some time just sitting there looking at what I've done, what I've made, how I've made it, improvements, all that sort of stuff. But also strategy adjustment. Every year I do a strategy adjustment in December. And it's just a case of looking at where your risks are at the end of the day, because if you don't diversify your strategy, you will stagnate. And if you stagnate, you will lose, because the market doesn't stay the same year after year. This year, one of the main revisions I've made to the strategy is that. And it's only recently been made, but it's because I did an analysis and I found out where there was a problem and I fixed the problem. So that in itself changes the strategy, which will cause other problems. So you have to constantly look. Every time you make a change to something, that change is always going to have a knock-on effect on something else. So if you decide to reduce your lot sizing down, you will survive longer in squeezes, but you won't make as much money. Also, you will miss a lot of opportunities that you could have had to take opposite trades because you're still in trades you wouldn't have been in if you'd run the strategy differently. Yeah. So every time you press a button, it has a knock-on effect. I think I did this in the member stream at some point, but every time you take a trade, yeah, it changes the future path of your P&L. Yeah. So if I take a trade, so I've just exited that trade there, right? My target was here. Now, because I've exited that trade here, I now have the opportunity to take a short. If I hadn't have pressed the exit button there and this pulled back and sat around for 2 days, I would be doing something completely different in the future to what I'm doing now in the future. Yeah. So think of it like the multiverse in Avengers. Yeah. There's a billion different things that can happen based on what you do as a trader. Yeah. So if you decide to, at that point, implement a swap filter into your trading because you've identified in the past that swaps are now becoming a big part of where your costs of trading are and they are making you less profitable, every single thing you do from that moment on is going to be different to what you've ever done in the past. So any back testing I've ever done with my strategies, my systems, the way that I work is now different next year because I'm doing it differently, completely differently. That is going to have a knock-on effect. So at some point in the future, I need to draw a line and say, I need to analyze what's been going on since I implemented that swap filter to see how it's affecting my profitability, how it's affecting my drawdown, how it's affecting the trades that I'm taking, the number of trades that I'm in, the hold times I've got. You've got to constantly do an analysis of what you are doing because the market is not going to stay the same. This year is the first time in 2 decades the Japanese have changed their monetary stance to be using positive interest rates. We've had the biggest intervention in history. This thing, the Japanese yen, is not going to be trading the same next year as it did this year. So you have to develop and adapt. And part of it is diversification of strategy. If you only have one strategy, you're constantly going to have stagnation in that strategy at times. If you've got multiple strategies running and one of them isn't working as well, the other one has the opportunity to make up for the one that's not working. And that's what diversification is all about. It's what portfolio trading is all about. The reason we position trade everything is because something will be working when other stuff isn't. So you've got to be able to constantly put stuff down here to make money and then deal with what's not working. It's just a form of diversification. But if you have 2 different position trading strategies running, which are very different, you will have massive diversification in position trading. If you have a stop loss strategy running with a position trading strategy, you have diversification. This one is going to hemorrhage lots of little bits of money and then make large gains. This one is not going to do that, and it's going to make very small gains constantly. Yeah. So you've got that. Wow, we've just had a whacking great month because this has done well, but it's not been good for this because this has gone into parabolic squeezes. But that pays for that in exactly the same way as I do in here. You know, when I have a hedge on like this one this morning, if that had gone to 3R today, I would have closed that out and gone, excellent, that pays for that, I'm done. This is a portfolio, this is diversification. You've got to have that. So it's just about, you know, I run multiple strategies to make sure I've got the ability to constantly make money whatever the market's doing. If you're in the members streams, you'll know they've done the session on the 3 types of strategy there are. There's only 3 types of trading you can do. You can be a breakout trader, you can be a mean reversion trader, or you can be a trend trader. There is nothing else because the market is either in mean reversion, breaking out of mean reversion, or trending. There is only 3 things every single instrument you can trade, whether it be crypto, stock, Forex, whatever, does. They all do the same thing. They're either doing that, they're doing that, and then doing that again, or they're doing that and then that. That's all it does. It goes up, goes down, moves through time. So if you have a breakout strategy, a mean reversion strategy, and a trend strategy running at the same time, it doesn't matter what the US dollar yen does, you're going to make money. All it is about is controlling risk on each of them to make sure that when that's not working, that is working bigger than those two. It's that simple. There is nothing else you can do. You find a strategy, you determine what type of strategy it is, and you wrap risk around it. That's it. So that's what I will be doing next year, is doing a lot more of that, running more strategies. But it's all about getting the automation in place for me, which is the hard bit, because you can't run not hundreds of strategies, but lots of different strategies without automation, because you physically just can't do it unless you're sitting here 12 hours a day in front of your screen. But what's the point in doing that? You might as well get a job. Probably pay better for most people. But yeah, I will be doing that. I'm interested in what you think about CAD yen. I'm in long with a bit too high position size. Well, you're being paid to be in it. The CAD basically on Thursday, Wednesday, are changing their interest rates. So you'll find out what that does on Wednesday. I mean, they're dropping interest rates. It's already dropped. So when they get what they expected, they probably want to start unwinding that. So there's a good chance you'll be back up somewhere around there on Wednesday, possibly. But I don't know. Impossible to tell. All the yen pairs at the moment have had a very, very strong rally. Yeah, so they are all due a little bit of an unwind. We've got double bottoms forming on all of them at the moment. So it's whether or not it's going to stay in that range or whether it breaks out. You know, this is the thing with every instrument you look at, it's going to do one of two things. Yeah. And there's a saying in trading, there has been a saying in trading forever. The market will always pick the route of least resistance. Yeah. So if something has been in a range for a week, you will assume that it will continue to do that until it proves you wrong. Yeah. At the moment, it's trending quite hard, but it's starting to range and, you know, get stuck, isn't it? Yeah. We've gone sideways. We had a little bit of a drop. It's come back up again on the Aussie yen. If you look at the CAD yen, we've got a double bottom forming. We've been forming a range for a week. Yeah, same as we did here. So what it's going to do now is, after this period of balance, it's going to find imbalance, which is going to be a breakout. And that breakout is price discovery to see if there is a possibility of trading at this area or this area. That will either failed breakout, or it will succeed, trend. That's what's going to happen. What the market wants or needs to do is based on the fundamentals, and the fundamentals are coming out on Wednesday. So it's either going to stay in this range, because there is no reason for the Canadian dollar to be strong or weak, and there is no reason for the yen to be strong or weak, or something is going to change which will change the direction of it. But I can't tell you what that's going to be. I can tell you that they do not want price to go beyond that level at the moment. So it looks good, but whether it's going to break out of this area of previous support turn resistance, we'll find out on Wednesday, won't we? But if you're in with too much lot size, reduce it. This is a great spot if you need to for an aggressive drawdown control position. Yeah, so you're at a previous monthly low, which they're rebuying. So this is the 2-month low, which they've rebought. They rebought again today. Yeah, so they're buying this low. Yeah, if you look at it on a monthly chart, bit of a mess, but you can't see it very clearly. But this monthly low is what we're buying. Yeah, so we've bought the monthly low twice. This is how institutions will look at trading. This is the level that they're buying at the moment. Yeah. So next stop is going to be to test one of those monthly highs. or it's going to break out of there and come back down and test one of those monthly lows. So it's a 3-month low and a 4-month low of the year. But I don't know which way it's going. We'll find out on Wednesday. Morning, Vitaly. Did you go over Swiss pairs yet? No, I haven't done anything yet. I've been waffling for 45 minutes. I am about to start. So Aussie CAD just got out of that long. So there is an opportunity for a short today. ADR 125 is where I'd be looking to get in short, somewhere up here. Obviously, they've been selling that area quite a lot. So good looking area. This is basically a breakout turned into a range. So again, what I've just been talking about, balance and price discovery. We've been in an area of balance, price discovery, failure, back into an area of balance, price discovery, failure, back into an area of balance. Which way is it going to go next? But now we're back in this range again. Be looking for it to come back down so you can get an easy quarter of an ADR, third of an ADR, half an ADR, maybe out of a pullback on it. But structure is reversed, so looking for it to push back up and retest up here somewhere. This area here is obviously where they're selling, so that is a good area to sell. So good looking short opportunity on that one. I can trade that in both directions, so I will be looking for a short on that if we can get an RSI extension that holds above the 70 level, or if we get a 125 ADR hit to the upside, that'd be a nice double top short. Obviously play it back down into top of the reversal. Aussie Swiss. So again, all of these Aussies are literally, it's all about the news. Waffle, waffle, waffle. We love that. Yeah, we love waffle. I'm not a fan of waffles personally, but I do like waffling. Yeah, Aussie Swiss. I got long on this one at the moment. Obviously, there's two major news events: unemployment rate and interest rate coming out tomorrow and on Thursday. So there's a hell of a lot of movement on the Aussie potential this week. At the moment, we've got this area of accumulation. So this is the low point. They just kept buying this up, buying it, buying it, buying it. We broke it, we pushed up, we retested, resold. So now we're short. So looking for an exit up there. That high there basically is where my TP is. May get out before that. So if it's unlikely I will make an exit on this by the time the news is out tomorrow. So if so Aussie Swiss, I'm in profit on it. If this does manage to rally up to sort of the 150 ADR area today, I will probably take that off and pop that down there as well, because obviously I want to reduce my exposure on the Aussie. If there's profit on the table, there's absolutely no point in leaving it there tomorrow morning, because tomorrow morning this thing could be 200 ADR down there. It could also be 200 ADR up there. You know, it's all down to the fundamentals at the end of the day and which way the market, the Bank of Australia, decide to go. And then the market will obviously react accordingly. But that area there is where my current target is on the position. But as I said, if we push up into 150 ADR, I might just stick a quick alert on that actually. So I'm just going to stick an alert there just to remind me if price gets there. I'll look at the P&L. If I've got sort of 0.25% to 0.5%, I'll stick that down there. But obviously news is going to affect this one this week. So there's a chance that obviously we will just fly up there. There's also a chance that we will fly down there. There's also, we could just sit there and do absolutely nothing. So we'll wait and see what happens. But this area here, obviously this weekly low and the previous week's low is obviously forming a very nice previous support, which we have tested immediately after the breakout. So we know that that is the area now where all the longs are flipped short. So market is short from that point. So that's where I'd get out of longs, and that's where I'd look to get into shorts. Wait for a reversal at that area if it gets there. Aussie yen. So I'm going to whiz through all the yen pairs in one go. The yen, obviously, as we know, is a little bit of a law unto itself now. We've got new interest rate monetary policy. We've got the intervention fallout, which we're still trying to figure out, well, the market's still trying to figure out what to do with the yen. It isn't making any trend progress after the intervention. So it does seem to me like that initial intervention shock is now, right, what do we do with the yen from here? And I don't think the market has made a decision yet. So for me at the moment, it's long only on all yen pairs. I'm not, the EA is not running on any yen pairs. I just realized I did have it running on one yen pair. I just need to check that. Yeah, so I have actually got it running on the US dollar yen. There's no signals on it, but it is running on US dollar yen. That's the only pair I've got it automated running on. In fact, I don't even think it's automated running. Sorry, let me just check this. I just need to check this because I don't want it automated. Yeah, no, it is. I'm just going to take that off actually. So I think personally the market is still wanting to use the yen as a carry trade. So all these yens, I think, after this big strong double daily drive we've had on the yen pairs, I think there's a good chance that we could continue to push back up on it. So don't forget, this is a carry trade. You get paid to go long it. It costs you a fortune to short it. So the market has always trended against the yen because the interest rates have been so low. We're back in the zone now where it's been a buy for the last week. So there's a good chance, I think, we can come and test those highs over the next sort of month or so and possibly even exceed them. So, however, it's struggling to go anywhere at the moment. So if you look at the Aussie yen since the intervention, we had the intervention pullback and then we tried to rally, it failed. And then we sat around, as we did with all of them, for months on end, not going anywhere. This month is the first time, or rather than the last couple of weeks, is the first time we've actually had a little bit of movement on these yen pairs. So I personally would much rather just carry on using it as a carry trade and long it. But I'm still unsure, so I'm kind of out of the yens at the minute. Same thing. Yeah, we just sat around, but we've not really gone anywhere. If you look at the intervention, which was all the way back in July, yeah, since the intervention, we pulled back, and that is where the market went, right, now what? We don't know. Yeah, from August until now, we have made no progress bullish. We've made no progress bearish on any of these. So it's a great instrument at the moment to trade in both directions. It doesn't really matter which way you go with it. You're likely to get out of a trade. Morning out trade. However, that's the one that's going to pay you. So with all of them, there's a lot more volatility on the Swiss, obviously, because the Swiss moves with the yen. So obviously that's moved a lot more. But you know, there's a lot more money to be made on the yen longing it, I think, at the moment than shorting it. But that could all change at any time. We don't know how this new monetary policy stance on the yen is going to affect it long term. But at the moment, it's looking like the market does not want to short. It wants to carry on longing against the yen, i.e. weak Japanese yen. So where we are now, beautiful long. You've had a reversal alert just go in and a retest on the euro yen. So market structure shifted back long. So yeah, they all look good for longs at the moment. To answer your question, John, CAD yen long. So yeah, they're all in the same. They're in the same situation. So market structure is holding on all of them right now. So they all look great for longs, but obviously you've missed most of them because we had the reversal alerts on them in the last week. New Zealand dollar yen, you're just about to get a reversal alert on the 4 hour. That's above ADR, so I'd wait for a pullback to try and get in on that one. But yeah, looking good. And US dollar yen. So the US dollar yen is the what the market uses to measure strength against the yen. That was the last trade I had on there, look, which I had to hold for over a week, but got out of nicely. So yeah, it's all looking like it wants to continue in the way that we've always been, which is that way against the yen. So at the moment, though, it's very hard to call. So I'd be looking for longs on it, but I'd be one of those pairs where at the moment you just want to try and get out quick, or, you know, I hate break-even stops because all they do is they stop you out of break-even. But it's one of those where, you know, you'd rather be stopped out of break-even 10 times than go into a parabolic push against you. Yeah, even if they're paying you to hold the position, it's still going to be a lot of drawdown. So yeah, longs on all the ends for me anyway. Aussie New Zealand's an ADR reversal today. That is just about to trigger a 15-minute reversal alert in 6 minutes, although it is holding that high. So you may not get a reversal on it. 5-minute reversal has already gone in when it updates. Oh, no, it hasn't. Sorry. No, you're just about to get that in 1 minute. So that will reverse in a sec. So there's your M pattern. Bit of an ugly M. But yeah, so 125 ADR, although I would say because of the gap down there, that's probably more likely an ADR hit than 125, but it's still an extension. So the question is, are we going to continue this rally on the Australian dollar today, or is this just market exiting positions ready for tomorrow? If that's the case, then it'll probably just peter out. But if it's the market entering in anticipation for tomorrow, it'll more likely just flag break and continue. So we'll have to wait and see. But as you can see, these yens, Aussies, have been pretty weak. So there's a good chance of that type of movement. So we'll wait and see what happens. But tomorrow morning, you're going to find out it's going to be a 4.35, or there is potential for them to drop that to 4.1. If they do, bye-bye Aussie. But I don't think they will, but we'll have to wait and see. We've got a load of ADRs going off. New Zealand dollar is rallying at the minute. So big strong move. They're buying the New Zealand as well. Look. So again, this may all just be unwinding of current New Zealand positions ready for tomorrow. Aussie US, got buys on that one at the moment. My average is miles away on this. This is a pretty bad position. New Zealand Swiss ADR. I got an accidental fat finger trade on there, which I shouldn't have on. That shouldn't be there, which means my average is a little bit skewed on this one. So I need a push above 125 ADR to get to break even. So what I will probably do with this tomorrow or today, if we can get this back up, I'm just going to stick an alert there as well. If we can get this back up to 125 ADR, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that trade off in profit. So that one there that's gone on this morning will come off here. And then that one I will close out for a loss there. So that pays for that plus profit. And that will bring me back to the normal 3 positions. And then obviously I just hope for some positive news tomorrow for the Australian. But got a bit of a dodgy trade on that one. This is because I was mucking about with the new buy and sell limit buttons and accidentally left a limit order in place. So, but overall target on this one, I've got set up there. Anything that you've got, so with these Aussies, now we've covered all the Aussies, any exposure you've got on the Australian dollar that you're going to be holding overnight into tomorrow, have your TPs a distance away. Yeah. So if we are, let's say we close out here, for example, measure an ADR. Yeah. ADR on this is 57. So measure 57 odd up from where you close, because if that news comes out massively positive, or rather the market reacts massively positive to the interest rates overnight, you're going to get an ADR hit, yeah, in your favor. So don't set your target here when an interest rate is coming out. Set your target here, get paid, yeah. So that is an ADR. That is 1.5 ADR. So if the interest rate comes out and the market reacts positively to it, 1.5 ADR easily on the table, isn't it? So set your TPs on anything you're holding overnight on your Australian exposure a decent distance, because there's a good chance you're going to make a lot of money. If you've got the EA running, and this is something I do every now and again when I've got positions running like this, is, you know, on the Aussie Swiss here, for example. So my TP on this is at 1 ADR. Yeah. So I've got my exit target set to 1 ADR. If this is sitting, I mean, this is one that I'm actually going to take off if it's in profit, just to limit the exposure. But, you know, just change it to 2. Yeah, overnight. And then you can always come back in and switch it back to 1. Just for the night, and make sure obviously you remember to change it back. But there's no point in taking a Euro New Zealand. New Zealand dollar is really rallying at the moment. There's no point in taking a normal TP on something that has got the potential to double the TP. Yeah, if it goes against you, moving it further away is not going to affect you, is it? So if it just suddenly goes bang and the Australian collapses tomorrow morning, it's fine. Yeah, but if it doesn't, milk it. Yeah, make your money. Also, anything that you've got in profit. So if this was now 5:30 to this evening, that's coming off with 0.2. Stick that down there. And anything else you've got in profit on the Aussie. So I've got one trade there on the Aussie, which is in profit. Put it in the bank. Yeah. Same with the New Zealand. If you've got a trade in profit, stick it in the bank. Because if this trade here, for example, on the Aussie Swiss is sitting in $140 of profit, if the news goes against me, I can't get that back. I can take this off, bank $140, and then if it pushes down tomorrow and does that, I can add the trade back on again. So I take it off and take the profit and add it back again. I haven't lost anything. I've just gained money, and I've had the ability to gain money again. So I'm doubling the amount of money that I can make. If you don't take it off and it collapses against you, you've just wasted that position. You've just, you know, let that money slip through your fingers. That is more annoying than taking it off and seeing it fly. Because if you take it off and it flies, you're going to make money on that one, that one, that one, and that one. Yeah. If you don't take it off and it collapses, you'll be cross. Yeah. So just always, when you've got a big news event that might affect any trades or exposure, New Zealand dollar CAD's just shut out at profit. It's TP hit on that one. So that's 1 ADR. So yeah, anything you've got sitting in profit, yeah, ahead of any news event, any massive news event that's coming in, I can sit here right now and I can bank sort of $350 odd, $400 roughly. Yeah, there's no point if there's a massive news event coming up not to bank that $400, because best case scenario, it goes your way and these will become profitable as well. Worst case scenario, it goes against you, these go into more drawdown and that disappears and also causes you more drawdown. Yeah, so take the money when it's there. Yeah, just we got a lot of news coming up this week, so obviously there's going to be that type of opportunity a lot this week. CAD Swiss. So I've done all the yens, done all the Aussies. CAD Swiss, first entry's gone in this morning on this one. So this is an ADR. No, it's not. It's a RSI. Yeah. Right. Let's just check. It's an RSI extension, obviously, there. So that was your first entry there this morning off of that RSI extension on the hourly. So long on that one. Could go anywhere really, but that area there obviously is your downside support, which broke. We retested the downside support, held and dropped. So if we get back to that area and there's still sellers in place that were in place when we broke, that's where they're going to short from. So that will be my target to the upside on that one. So that's an hourly RSI extension long. Aussie yen exceeded ADR. Aussies on the move. So still rallying Aussie. So CAD Swiss long already. CAD yen we've looked at this one already briefly, but yeah, so obviously a double bottom bounce potentially. Done all the ends. So euros. Euro odd obviously coming down at the moment. I've got shorts on this. That's really annoying. I should have taken another one on Friday. Good. Yeah, I should have taken another trade on Friday. In hindsight, that would be break even now. But I didn't, so I'm still in it. So there's my break even at the moment on this one. Pound New Zealand ADR. So again, more New Zealand movement. All Aussie New Zealand today. That area there is where I'm sort of targeting a potential exit. So if I'd have taken that trade, that's really annoying. If I'd have taken that one, I have a very nice profitable exit there. As it stands, that's my last entry, which is in profit. So if we get down 150 ADR and we come back into this accumulation by end of day, which the way these New Zealand and Aussies are going today, there's a high probability of, I will take that one off, and I might do a little bit of DD control on this one. 125 on New Zealand dollar yen. I've only got 4 positions on it. It's just that the way that price action's moved on this, my entry spacing is very erratic, because we haven't had reversals in our favor for quite a long time off the back of that big news move. So the average is quite difficult to get out of here. So what I'm hoping for is a push back down somewhere into here, so I can close that out. I might close that one, that 0.23 there, because it's a closer one, which will take less loss. And then I've just got those 2 positions on, and if it does continue, obviously then I can add back on up here. The euro rate, obviously, this week, this is going to get a lot of movement this week, this pair particularly, because we've got the Australian rates tomorrow. We've then got the euro rates on Thursday, as well as the unemployment for the Aussie. So today and Thursday, this pair, 2 interest rates and 1 employment number. So huge potential movements on this. Euro could easily be back down here by end of the week, no problem at all. The euro is weak. We've had a bit of a rally over the last couple of weeks on it, but overall they are just hemorrhaging those interest rates, and CPI number isn't bouncing, so they've got to get that interest rate down quick on the euro to stop that CPI number going into negative. So big strong rate reductions on the cards. Everything is kind of wide range bound, as you can see. There's no real reason for this to take off in any direction, but that definitely should be the movement on the euro, so we should be looking for shorts on euro. I'm only taking shorts on the euro at the moment because of the swaps as well. Morning, Neo. Back in the days you used to say keep strategies on different accounts. Yeah, I don't trade ADR reversals. Yeah, I'm basically keep strategies on different accounts if you're running different strategies. I'm running a position. This is my position trading account. Whether I get in because of an RSI or an ADR, I don't care. Yeah. If you are running separate strategies where you are taking all RSIs, all ADRs separately as separate positions, they need to be on separate accounts. I'm just trading position trading on one account. That's it. So whether I get in with a manual button, whether I get in because of an ADR extension, whether I get in because of an RSI extension, it's irrelevant. I'm getting in. So you can keep them separate if you want to. But the thing with ADR reversal and RSI extension is, as you will see, you will get the same signal happening. This is a perfect example. Look, euro odd. Yeah. So this was an ADR hit on Friday. It did 170 on a 120 ADR. It was also an RSI. You are going to get the same entry, regardless of the reason. The entry is the same. It's extended and stretched. So if you want to run them separately, you'll get more entries with ADR than you will with RSI, because you can get an 8 there. That's not a good example. Just trying to find an RSI extension without an ADR, or vice versa. There isn't one on this particular pair, but you'll get you'll get ADR hits which won't be RSI extensions. So those you should keep separately. with the RSI extensions, they tend to be stronger pushes and bigger pullbacks. With the ADR reversals, they tend to be more scalpy moves. So the only reason I've always said that in the past is because a lot of people that are trading ADR reversals are targeting a third of an ADR or a quarter of an ADR. That's all. It's a scalping strategy. So, but because I am now, and this is one of the main differences in my trading at the moment, is because I'm now trading in line with swap, I don't really mind holding ADR reversals longer because there's more chance they're going to play out quicker. But we don't know that yet, and that's something I'll be looking into, obviously, when I do my analysis. Euro odd, so that's a short for me at the moment. So my initial entry was all the way back here, expecting a pullback. There you go. So there's a prime example on this chart right now, Peter. That initial entry there was not an RSI extension. It was an ADR reversal. And look at the trouble it's got me into. If it was an RSI extension, that would have been my first entry. But it wasn't. So I sat in this sideways for 6 or 7 days, waiting for that. And what I got was another news event against me. Now, that would have been my first entry with the RSI reversal strategy. But I didn't take it. I got it in with an ADR. Yeah, so it's, you know, but equally, if it had done that, I would be saying the opposite. There was a nice ADR reversal that worked out. You have no way of knowing. When you press this button, it's either going to do what you want or it's not. What you do after the button press is how you make the money. The button press has got nothing to do with making money. You can flip a coin and go long and short. It has nothing to do with making money. Making money is done by sun's suddenly come in the room. Money is made by managing the position you get into. The reason you press the button, or the EA presses the button for you, really doesn't matter, does it? So I'm short on this at the moment. Looking for some positive movement on the Aussie would be nice on tomorrow morning. Euro CAD second short taken on this one last week. So I got into the initial entry there. RSI extension to the upside. That was also an ADR hit, so doesn't matter. Looking for bearish continuation. We got a double top and then a 7-8 day sideways accumulation and balance, and we broke out of that on Friday. So second entry's gone in on that one. Just looking for a pushback down. So initial target for me, as you can see, was all the way down there on that entry, looking for a retest of the lows. Didn't get it. So second entry exit. I'll put in that propulsion gap for the moment. But so yeah, just retest of that area of balance to the downside. So nice. If you didn't take that one there, or you got out of it for any reason because it was sideways, that'll be your initial entry that you took on Friday. Short. Euro Swiss sideways mess. Got out of the longs on it a couple of weeks ago. Hasn't gone anywhere since. Haven't had a signal since. So absolutely no reason. There's been no ADRs on it. There's been no RSI extensions. It's just no reason to take it. It just about got extended on Friday, but the signal was miles away. So I'm not in it. It would be in profit if you were in it, but I didn't take it. So totally sideways, nothing to do with that at the moment. It is a mess, the Euro Swiss, because Euro and Swiss quite often will move together unless the Swiss franc is doing something odd, like dropping interest rates. So that is happening on Thursday. So be aware, obviously, Swiss franc rate is coming out on Thursday. Expect a movement. The press conference is where they will not tell us what's going on because the Swiss National Bank don't tell us anything. Jordan will come out and say, we've dropped the rates. Told you. That's it. And then we go, see you next month. That's it. That's it we get from the Swiss. So, yeah, notoriously tight-lipped about what they do. However, if it kicks off in the Middle East, that will be down there. Yeah. So the Swiss franc is a safe haven. So if it does kick off, there's times of instability. You'll get multiple ADR hits on the Swissy. Euro pound. I got out of my shorts on this one last week on Monday. It's not really going anywhere at the minute. Euro pound has got no ADR. It's 31 ADR is the average daily range on it. It just doesn't move. It takes forever to get out of because it doesn't move. So you need news to get yourself into profit. At the moment, excuse me, I'm looking for short only on it, in line with swap. It hasn't had any. There was an entry, could have just about got an entry maybe in there. I didn't get it. So yeah, it's just not giving any short entries. Look, can't do anything with it at the moment. So I'm looking for a pullback on it, but that's going to require a weak pound. It's certainly not going to be a strong euro, I don't think. So nothing much to do with that at the moment. Euro New Zealand, shorts on. So first entry was taken on Friday on this one. So RSI extension to the upside. There's your first entry. And we just pushed back up and sat around. And obviously today it's on its way. So target on this, it'll get me out at 1 ADR anyway, which is 117. So ADR is that propulsion gap. So we'll see what happens. But again, this one will be driven. So the New Zealand dollar will move tomorrow on the Australian interest rates. Yeah. So just bear that in mind on New Zealand dollar exposure as well. So short on that one, and Euro US dollar. Second entry taken on that one on Friday. Really stuck. It's just a lot of this at the minute. Bit of news undone. Just not really getting anywhere. So yeah, shorts, strong US dollar, weak euro. Targets somewhere down here, somewhere down. Anyway, I mean, it's not going to get down there because the EA will get me out way before it gets anywhere near it. But don't see why we shouldn't be down there in the coming months. But we'll wait and see. It's a difficult one because the market's stuck on this. So we've got these propulsion targets. So that's Trump getting in. I'm not sure we'll get back to that. Possibly that. So I'll be in a third entry, fourth entry if we retest propulsion. So if we get back up to there, I'll be in 4 short. But I'm not even convinced we'll get there, to be honest. It's going to take some serious news on the euro. It's going to take Lagarde to say, do you know what? We've dropped the interest rates. We're not going to touch them for 6 months. We might put them up by 0.25%. That's literally all that's going to help this. Or Trump turns around and says something really stupid. That's more likely. Trump's going to say something really stupid. Yeah. And he's going to crash the US for a bit. So now we got Trump involved. Anything can happen. Euro odd ADR. Third ADR hit to the downside. Australian dollar still going. So there's all your euros. How do you deal with a situation when both RSI and ADR entries trigger at the same time? Shut one. Yeah, overexposes you a bit. I'm going to change. I think I'm going to try and change the logic in the position trader EA to be an or instead of an and. So Aussie CAD 125 ADR. So at the moment it's set to be use only one, because obviously if you set use only one, because if you set both to true, it will fire twice, because it will go, I'm getting you into an ADR and I'm also getting you into an RSI. So I might change the logic on that. I purposely didn't put that logic in when I built it because I wanted to try and force people to use one, because I don't believe you should use both necessarily, because they will signal a lot of the time at the same time. So, but if it does get me in twice, I literally just shut one. Don't forget, when you get in, if it does get you in twice, it's because you've had a 120, in my case, a 125 ADR extension. It's unlikely not to pull back something before it goes if it's going to continue. So it's rare that and it doesn't happen that often actually, thinking about it, but if it does get you in, it's rare that you won't be able to just press the button to get out of one or the other. So but yeah, I might change the logic on that, just to have one or other fire. But the other thing is as well with that, and the other negative for it is obviously it's got to favor one. So if you get an RSI extension and an ADR extension at the same time, I've got to decide in the logic which one to go first. So shall I pick RSI or shall I pick ADR? So what will happen, and I know it will happen, is people will be going, my EA has just triggered an entry for me. In the comments, it says it's a RSI entry. It was an ADR. I said, well, I've got to pick one. What do you want me to do? Change it to ADR for you, and then everyone else will moan because it didn't say RSI? I can't win. So just manage it manually, basically. Maybe add as an option, win-win. Yeah. I can't win. Vitaly, if ever you do programming and you release any products for people, you will learn very quickly you can't win. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do. There is always someone that wants it done the other way. And if you give them the option for both, they will moan about something else. I'm not saying everybody moans. I'm just saying a lot of people are very picky. I try to make my products as configurable as possible for a reason, because that's how I want them. But anyway, I was reading that for the first time MT5 sales are higher than MT4. I don't know, maybe. I haven't looked for a while, to be honest. Last time I looked, it was the opposite. I can have a look now. I'll let you know. Where do you see that? There? Yeah, there. Let's look at the last month. How can I tell that then? I can't. So MT4, MT5. Nope, it's still 50. 50% roughly. So just to give you an idea, market reverse alerts EA MT5. I'm not going to give you the numbers. It's not many. I'm probably not a good gauge actually because I'm not that many. But it's roughly, I would say, 60% of MT4. So MT4, if you think that's the bar of sales for MT4. That's the bar of sales for MT5. For me, obviously, I'm just me, but that is that's what I'm seeing on my chart. So this MT4 is still outstripping MT5 by a good 50%. For me, I don't know. That's just me. But is that because I constantly go on about using MT4 instead of MT5? So everybody subconsciously just goes MT4 because that's what I tell them to do. And that's what I use. I don't know. I don't know. Anytime you have to deal with people, you can't win. Yeah. Exactly. Then sell two EAs. Yeah, I could have an ADR EA and I could have an RSI EA, but then everybody would moan that they want to do both. And then I would tell them that you don't need to do both. And they would moan at me and saying, I do need to do both. And I'd say, well, you're going to get the same trades with both of them. And they go, yeah, but sometimes I won't. And I'd go, yeah, but sometimes you will. And we're always going to be right. Everybody's always going to be right, aren't they? But everybody's also always going to be wrong. You can't win. You can't win at anything in life. Everybody's always got the opposite opinion. This is why we have wars. Was an article in Finance Magnets, was it? Oh, right. Okay. I don't know what that is, but it might be that sales. So how are Finance Magnets classifying sales? Because MT5 licenses are sold to brokers. MT4 licenses are sold to brokers. If they're talking about license sales to brokers, yes, it could be. But sales of individual indicators, EAs and stuff within the marketplace is definitely MT4 still. But I think that probably will swing and change at some point. I mean, at some point in the future, MQL5 will probably drop MT4. But like I've always said, if that is your sales for MT4, right, and that is your sales for MT5, and you take a conscious decision as a business to shut that part of your business down and force everybody to there, what's going to happen is you're going to lose all of that revenue, and you run the risk of driving people not there, but over to Ninja Trader. Or, it's a terrible end, over to Ninja Trader, or over to some other charting platform, TradingView. Yeah, there's MT4 and MT5 are the most used trading platform on the planet. They have been since trading started in retail. They are the market leader. Yeah. Second place, TradingView, Ninja Trader, maybe. But there's all sorts of others out there. Multi-charts, C-Trader. There's tons and tons of platforms. But if you shut this, that generates over 60, 70% of your revenue, you are a stupid person if you assume that they're just going to switch to your other platform. They may well switch somewhere else, which means that you just lose that revenue. You don't get that going up to twice the size. That might go up to that much, which means your business has dropped by 25%. They're not going to do it. Yeah, they've been saying this, and I've got a very privileged position in that I've been doing this for nearly 2 decades. I've been using MT4 for nearly 2 decades. They've been saying they're going to phase out MT4 since I started using MT4 2 decades ago. Have they done it? No. Why? Because it makes all their money. It's like me turning off trading. I'm going to go and be a bin man or something. I'm not going to do that because this is how I make the money. Yeah. It's not an option at the moment, but things change. Yes, you're right. It's licenses. Yeah. So yeah, if it's licenses, then yes. There is a swing. I'm seeing a swing start much more towards futures now. There's a lot more people trading futures now, and this is because of prop. You can't trade futures on MT4, but you can trade futures on MT5. So if you are a broker that is futures orientated, you are going to put more of your people onto MT5 or force or recommend MT5 more than MT4. The trouble is with futures, most people can't hold futures overnight because of the overnight costs. So it's much more of a scalping instrument base rather than swing. But then you go and talk to people in profitable traders, yeah, and people that are profitable in prop, they will tell you they do not scalp intraday. Why? Because it's just chop. You can't get a regular income out of trading random chop very easily. But swing trading, you can, which is where the money's made. Most of the money in trading is made on the 4-hour and the hourly charts and above. There's a lot of fun happening down here in the 5-minute. You can't see it's off the top of my screen. I'm pointing to my my time frame selector. There's a lot of money being a lot of fun being had on the low time frames, but there's not a lot of profit being made consistently. So wonder if they bring out MT6. God, I hope not. If it's anything like MT5, I'm not even interested. Apparently brokers are getting a 20% increase in costs from MetaTrader. Are they? Fine. The thing you've got to think about as a trader or as a broker is, where is your customer base? Yeah, your customer base is retail traders. What do retail traders need? Education. What do retail traders need? Tools to trade. MT4 and MT5 is the place you get all of that from. There's a lot of scripts and things you can get in TradingView, in C-Trader, in multi-charts, but you look at the number of products available for MT4 and MT5 to help traders, or rather hinder them, most of them, but to use in MT4 and MT5, and you look at the number of tools available in TradingView, Ninja Trader and C-Trader and multi-charts. If you combine all those together, they're not even 10% of what's available in MT4 and MT5, because it was first. And it's the same with everything, isn't it? If you're first to market, you have that advantage, that competitive edge. They have I don't know what the count is, but tens of thousands of indicators and EAs available for the platform. You've got a tiny percentage of that on all other platforms, but it's not because it's better. It's because it was first. When retail trading started, you had MT4. That was it. Yeah. And then all of a sudden competitors came up, but they didn't make it because MT4 did something very clever. They identified that the route to market was not the person at home, it was the broker supplying the liquidity to the person at home. So they targeted the broker market and said, here you go, this is software basically, give this to all your people and you've got a charting platform. That's how they got the market. Clever at the time. But, you know, people call it archaic. You know, I get people all the time saying, can't you bring it out for TradingView? TradingView looks so much better. Does it make you more money because it looks better? No. The TradingView candlesticks are exactly the same as these. Yeah, these candlesticks might look different in color, style, whatever, but at the end of the day, it's that long with a wick there and a wick there. It doesn't matter what trading platform you use. It's the same thing. I don't care if it looks a little bit older than other things. It's functional, it's stable, and it never goes wrong. I use it because what do I want as a trader? Fast execution, stability, and something that I can use. That's it. If you've been trading on futures at all, or any prop rather, with any broker or any prop firm that integrates with TradingView or Tradeovate, yeah, something like that. I think there might be an E in there. Yeah. You'll know how many times these things go down. Yeah, lots. I've had multiple free evaluations given to me by prop firms in the past because Tradeovate went down. TradingView interface went down. Really sorry about the disruption in data. I'm on Top Step at the moment with an evaluation, which I blew last week, restart. They just gave me, the week before that, they gave me a free new evaluation because their software, Top Step X, the feed for S&P 500 froze. Yeah, I wasn't even trading S&P 500, but I took the freebie from them because their software broke. Yeah, 20 years, this thing's never gone wrong. Yeah. If you want to drive from the south coast of England to Scotland, would you rather have a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something that is going to need filling up 100 times and probably going to go wrong on the way and cost you £2,000 in something? Or would you like a crappy old Mini that is reliable and going to get you from A to B? Yeah. If your life depends on it, you're going to pick the one that's going to get you to A to B, aren't you? This is what makes us the money. Yeah. Our interface here and ability to press buttons is why we make money. Not because it looks good. So anyway, that was a waffle about MT4 and MT5. So, you know, I know you love the waffles. Right, let's do the pound. Pound odd. No trades on this at the moment. I'm long only pound at the moment against the Australian dollar just because of the costs. So I'm looking for a pullback into this area. So if we get a strong Aussie, I might get entries on this. The pound at the moment, very, very difficult to call direction-wise. Bailey is very, very tight-lipped and very, very stubborn at the moment about dropping interest rates. So we're finding it very hard to get those interest rates down on the pound at the moment. We are getting there gradually and slowly, but our CPI is very sticky and just not getting there. So overall, as you can see, the pound is bullish, but that could change very, very quickly. So we've got a problem at the moment with the new budget, which is going to cost the economy a lot of money. All businesses have now got to pay a hell of a lot more tax. So when the new government came in, the new budget taxed businesses rather than people, which is what they said they were going to do, but they've taxed people indirectly by making them all unemployed because businesses have now got way more money to pay out on national insurance, which means they need less staff if they're going to keep their costs down. So unemployment is going to rise, which means we need to drop interest rates to control that. So there is a probability, I think, in the first quarter of next year that we're going to see a lot more bearishness coming into the pound. But until then, until we've got some confirmation, I think it's still fairly bullish, neutral to bullish. That's the way I look at the pound at the minute. So I'm looking for longs at the moment. You've had RSI extensions on this multiple times, not playing out at the moment. So that was the first big extension we had there. So if you did take that one, you'd have scaled into 3 and probably out of that now, because today's movement, your first entry would have been in there somewhere. So it's 132. Yeah, you'll have 2/3 trades on that, maybe. So you'd be well below your average price, able to get out of that now. But I think there's a good chance that'll be down there, but it depends on the Aussie. Pound CAD, again, really nice extension on RSI at the moment from Friday. So this is a one that I was waiting for that level to get hit for a potential short. We looked at this one on Friday, I think, but it's just too expensive to trade. So I'm long only again. Anywhere down here, I'll be looking to get in long on it at the minute. But short entry, if you want to take it, very good. Lovely backup at 125 ADR. So if you get in short there, there's a second entry there. And then you'd be looking for a pullback down into that accumulation. So this propulsion area there as your target. Pound Swiss, sideways mess. Got propulsion gap targets to the upside and the downside. This could go anywhere. So Swiss franc on Thursday, interest rate drops. So a good chance that we'll see weakness in the Swiss franc, which means bullish pound Swiss. So up there is where I suspect we're heading. I haven't got into this. I haven't had a signal on it since back here. That was the last entry I had. I haven't had a trade. So unfortunately, just can't get in it at the moment. There's a reverse alert just gone in. So today, if this drops, we've kind of accumulated a nice little range here. So if you can get back into this propulsion gap today, that could potentially be a nice long opportunity. That propulsion gap is where I would like to be to get long, but that's a good second option. So we've had the reverse alert on the hourly, 4 hourly. It's just stuck in it, really. So totally stuck, this thing. It's just not going anywhere. So it's not in the best position in the world, is it? Look, highs, lows, where we are. Yeah, trade it out, low at the highs, high at the short at the highs, long at the lows, right in the middle. Could go either way. So nothing much to do with that in a minute. New Zealand coming down, obviously, today. Everything's coming down today. I can't trade this because it's too expensive in either direction at the moment. Bit of an anomaly pair in that it just costs a lot of money to trade it. It's really, really, really moving nicely. Pound New Zealand. It's one of the strongest ADR pairs we've got, always has been. So, yeah, I don't see any problem with trading this in either direction at the moment. So you would have had short entries from there, which you could have got out of if you had. If you didn't, you'd have been in second entries up here, and you'll be getting out of it shortly. But there was a first entry on Friday, which you'll be in profit on now as well. So, yeah, trade it in either direction, but just bear in mind it costs a lot of money. So, long term, difficult to call with a pound New Zealand at the moment. All the pound pairs, you've got to kind of look at them as fairly bullish at the minute because we're not dropping interest rates. New Zealand are. So that's probably the preferred move. Wait for a pullback. If I can get an RSI extension, I will jump on that. Pound US dollar. This could go either way. Obviously, it's Trump. So basically, just the way to look at the pound US dollar and the euro US dollar at the moment is what's Trump doing. That's it. Yeah. So he will open his mouth and this will move. Where it will move to, nobody knows. So euro US and pound US, very similar. At the moment, I'm looking for shorts only. So I'm looking for an ADR extension to the upside. RSI, last entry, as you can see, I had was there. So it's that one. Nice bearish divergence there. So in and out. Yeah, so I'll be looking for entries here. So 125 ADR to the upside, that will probably give us an RSI extension, so that's where I'd look to get in short. I don't think we'll get back up to this area. We may do, but likelihood is continuation to the downside. New Zealand, just got out New Zealand dollar CAD longs. So just waiting for a new signal on that. It's very sideways at the moment. 2 commodity pairs. So a lot of range bound activity when the commodities move, which they are at the moment. So last longs were there, then one there. So just waiting for any kind of ADR trigger or RSI trigger to get in long. New Zealand Swiss. Have I not got this on? Oh, I am long. I was going to say, why am I not long on this? It's because I couldn't see my average line. This is a monthly low, this blue line. Whoops. And that is exactly where I got in. So this is last month's low. Sorry, previous month's low. That's the 2-month low there. You can just about see the blue line, and that's exactly my average. I was just looking at it thinking, why didn't I get in on that? So yeah, I'm in on that long at the moment. Might get out of it, to be honest. Not enough profit yet. So that Aussie dollar Swiss is really flying in it. $48. So I'm going to need to get all the way up there. So yeah, New Zealand dollar Swiss long at the moment. So we've had a lovely reversal go in. At the moment, it looks like it's just going to flag break and go. So target on this one is very difficult upside wise. I would just go with 200 ADR basically, which is this previous support here, which broke on the news. So there's this propulsion gap, which is retested there. So this propulsion gap is where they're selling. So if we do test that, which is a V-shaped recovery, that's where I'll exit. The EA may get me out before that though. ADR is 43. So yeah, the EA is going to get me out somewhere around 175 ADR. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, again, that's rallying at the moment. Didn't get an entry on this one. Could trade this in both directions at the moment, as you can see. So I had longs on there from that RSI extension behind my head. You can't see it. And then I got in short, which was an ADR reversal down to there. So yeah, just waiting for a signal on this one. Obviously, since the election, which was there, we broke down. Obviously, strong US dollar. It's holding very, very well. So much more interested in shorting than longing at the moment, but we just don't know what Trump is going to do. So Trump gets in next month to take control. So up until then, it's just basically if he opens his mouth, stuff will happen. But what will happen, we don't know. So we'll wait and see. US dollar CAD at the moment looking for longs. Haven't really had much opportunity to get into it. This is the old squeeze that I got out of before the election. So yeah, very nice short up here right now. So I know some people are still in this from pre-election. If you're going to aggressive drawdown control, that's it. So this is a lovely aggressive drawdown control position opportunity here. You've just had the reversal alert on this there. So that outside bar there, basically, if you look on a 15-minute chart, there's your reversal. So we've broken back down. So I'd be looking for, if you want to get into an aggressive drawdown control position, if this pushes back into there, short stop above that high. Yeah, this monthly high, if it's holding, it's holding. If it's not, get out. If it does hold, though, this is your opportunity to get some size on if you want to. That's how I got out of this position here. Yeah, you can see the size I had on. I had multiple aggressive drawdown control positions on, which allowed me to get out. That's what aggressive drawdown control position is all about, is about bringing that average up to get you out. Done. Run. It's wrong. You're totally, totally wrong. Get yourself out of it. Don't try and make money on it. Just exit. So if you need to get that average up, this is a good spot. If it doesn't work out, you're going to take a loss on it. That's it. So very, very nice rejection today on that one up there. You need to watch this area here. Yeah, so this is the move on Friday, the break. So this is anybody that was short here. Yeah, have all flipped long here. So everybody that's long now is going to buy back in at that point. So watch this propulsion move, which is Thursday's high. US dollar Swiss. Looking for long opportunities on this one. Didn't manage to get in on Friday. Yeah, it just signaled too late. It was a very strong 2-hour pullback off the news. Didn't quite get an entry on it. So yeah, that would have been a long. I'm in New Zealand Swiss. So there's your reversal alert. Either of those to upside targets, depending on how far you want to take it. But this area here, obviously, is potentially a sticking point, pushing back up now. So bear in mind on Thursday, if the Swiss franc do drop those rates very aggressively, you're going to be up here. So one of those, if you can hold it, because we are dropping interest rates in the Swiss. They may go to 0.5%. Jordan came out last month, or was it earlier this month, and said we will not take negative interest rates off the table. So this going back down to negative 0.25 is firmly in the cards. Yeah, which means that if they're going to do that, they're not going to drop it by 1%, but they might do a half now, and then do a half in the next 2 months, in the next quarter. To get themselves back down to zero, make themselves attractive for investment, etc., etc., keep their status as a safe haven. With what's going on in Europe at the moment, we're going to need to put our money in the Swiss National Bank at some point, aren't we, if it does escalate? So they're making themselves attractive and making it profitable for themselves by keeping the interest rates low. So stability is what they're all about. So this thing could easily be up there, but we'll wait and see. But there's an entry long. I didn't get them with the EA, but if you are in, looks good to me. There we go. That's it. That's everything covered. Market's starting to cool a little bit now on the Aussie. So we've had that initial push in. It's starting to retrace a little bit now. Tempted to take this Aussie Swiss off. I think I might leave it. I think we're gonna struggle to get much further today. I've got the alert on at that level, so we'll see if we can get. I mean, it wasn't far away from where I was thinking about getting out anyway. But we'll see if we can get any further movement on it. But it's going to struggle to get beyond 125, I think. But you know, it is an interest rate tomorrow. Royal Mint's just released 1 ounce, 5 ounce, and small gold coins. Paul McCartney theme. Pass. Don't know what that one means, Franco. Yeah. We want to buy gold. We want as much gold as we possibly can. Gold is one of those things that's always going to have a future value. So, unless we replace the requirement to use gold for things with other stuff. And then it won't. Supply and demand, isn't it? It's a commodity. Right, that's all I got for you today. So, indices wise, FTSE, my God, FTSE's flatlined, dead. If you're still in the FTSE, i.e. if you weren't using a 2R trailer like I do, you're still in it. If I was you, I'd get out because it's not going anywhere. And DAX looking for a downside move today, but it's struggling. It can't even get down. Look, there's so much strength in this DAX at the minute. So this low from Friday, which is Thursday's high, which is what they rebought. They rebought the breakout on Thursday's high, is holding at the moment. They're rebuying Thursday's high. So, you know, if you are hedged on this, there's an argument for exiting your shorts here, and assuming that we're going to pull back. If it does break, though, you're going to need to re-hedge it. I kind of like the look of that, actually, to be honest. So that's Thursday's high. Yeah. That was Wednesday's high. You can see how the market loves to break out and rebuy highs. Yeah. Break out, rebuy it. At the moment, it's rebuying Thursday's high. Sorry, it's about to sneeze. So this level here, we held above on Friday. It does look like it's holding. If that is the case, we're going to go for all-time highs again today. So don't forget this thing. We've had all-time highs put in for many days now. We just literally all-time highs every day, all-time high. We've done a new all-time high today. So are we going to go for more? And if we are, this is where you want to be buying it today. And then it does something like that and you think, nah, don't fancy it anymore. I'm going to leave it in. The hedge exit for me is here to the downside. So if we do flush and break that high, we're going to put a down day in today. If we're going to put a down day in today, that's where I'm going to get out and look to try and take advantage of a pullback. But it's stuck. Markets are stuck today. FTSE's coming down a bit. There we go. Right, that's all I've got for you today. Tomorrow's member stream. I haven't really decided what we're going to do tomorrow yet. People want more position trading stuff, so I'm going to do some more position trading stuff, I think. I still haven't finished the EA. So this EA that I'm working on, the support resistance EA, I've put new inputs in here. For support resistance zones. It's getting to the point now where I'm playing around with this so much, I'm losing sight of what I'm doing it for. And the point of this whole thing is to basically allow you to trade support resistance. I'm trying to work on the automated side of things to try and get it better automated. But it's not what it's for. So I've got it drawing weekly support resistance zones in to try and help people identify levels, but it really doesn't need it. It's the whole idea of it is it's so you can just draw boxes on the chart and trade those zones with price action. So I'm getting to the point where I just want to undo all the coding I've just done last week to try and simplify it back to what it needs to be, which is a really simple support resistance zone strategy, or allow you to trade a support resistance zone strategy, or supply demand, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to work on this further today, which has meant I haven't really planned much for tomorrow. So if there's anything specific you want to cover tomorrow in the members stream, let me know. But people want to do more position trading stuff. So I'm going to probably come up with some more position trading based methodology and things to do. But I haven't got anything specific. Will you release a video with the support resistance? Yeah. I always do videos with everything I do. But we've covered it in the member stream. It's really the actual background behind it was Oh, that's on control points. That's going to go way too fast. Oh, I've got a sniff now. The whole purpose I built it was just to help members to practice in the strategy tester. So it was basically for, I've got it set onto auto trading, which is a bad thing, was to just trade support resistance zones. So you can practice. Yeah, move things around, and it will allow you to trade months and months and months of price action in minutes. That's the whole point of it. So to show you that, yes, all price does is go from support to resistance, support to resistance. I've got auto trading turned on, so it's going to constantly try and get me out. Is to, just let the market move and show yourself what the market does all the time, which is literally just moves to where it was before. Yeah, it was here, so it came back here. Yeah, it's been there and it will come back there. Yeah, because that's what it does. It's all it does. It does the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah. So, but what I've tried to do is make it more useful by drawing support resistance zones in. But as I've been doing this, I've been trying to develop the automated side of the EA, and I've, this is a discretionary tool. Yeah, it's for you to use discretion with. Trying to force lines onto a chart isn't right, because you'll find a lot of the time the lines just don't line up with where you want the trades to go. Yeah. So I'm trying to overcomplicate something, I think. But anyway, it works. This is the automated side of things. All it's doing is basically trading weekly support resistance zones, which is all you do. But it's all about the drawdown control, the exposure, everything else we do in position trading. So it will at times go wrong. So now I'll draw that zone there. Now it'll go there. I won't, because it's too close to that one, so it decides to go there. So it's very clever. What I've built is something which is kind of how I would do it in the real world. But it comes with its own problems when you add me into it, because that's not what it's for. But anyway, so I'm hoping to get this finished this week for the MT4 version, and then I'll need to do the MT5 version. Which time frame have you found it's best to use the EA on? Whatever you want. It's discretionary EA for you to draw boxes. Yeah, it's a discretionary EA. Whatever time frame you trade, whatever you do. So me, I prefer to go hourly, personally, or 4 hourly. Oh, too fast. It's addictive. It really is. You get addicted to just making money, because it's really hard not to make money just doing this. We did this in the live room with the members, and that's the whole point of it. It's really hard not to make money with it, because if all you do is work on the zones, it will make money, because it can only do one of two things. It can either go to the zone or not, and if it goes to the zone, it will usually bounce out. If it doesn't, it goes to the next zone. It's very simple. It's what we used to do before I built the market reverse alert CA. This is it. This is the bootcamp, basically. This is what I teach in the bootcamp. Oh, it's too close. It's too easy, isn't it? Too easy. But we are watching weeks. This is 4 weeks gone past. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks gone past. But have we lost? No, because all it's done is moved to the areas it moved to before, because that's all it ever does. Scroll out any chart, you will find it. All it does is it goes back to where it went. Yeah, and if it doesn't, it exceeds it a bit, but then it goes back to where it went before. Yeah, it's all price does is it goes back to areas it went to. It moves up and down. So if you just go, right, well, if it's going to go up, where's it going? It's going there. If it's going to go down, where's it going? It's going there. That's it. Where else is it going to go if it goes down? Well, you can't see because it's too far away, but there'll be an area somewhere back here where it's going. And when it gets there, it'll bounce out of it. Really, really simple, but really, really slow. Yeah, this is going to take a long time to make money with. But that's position trading, isn't it? We make money because we're not trying to rush in and out and make a fortune. But I will do a video on it. I'll do a new video because the one in the members stream is the members one. So, all right, I'll leave it there today. Anything else you need, let me know. I'll be in Discord. Plan on the DAX is 5-hour downside exit at Friday's low. If it doesn't, then it's a hedge. And then obviously I'll look at the US markets this afternoon. And Aussie dollar, anything Aussie wise, obviously 3:30 tomorrow morning, the Australian dollar is going to move. So if you've got any Aussie or New Zealand exposure that you can bank it before the end of the day, just so that you've got the money, basically. Is what Tom H trying to butt scalping? I don't know. Once he said he's seen in on bigger screen and it clicked to him. What? Is what Tom H trying to butt scalping? Once he said he's seen in on bigger screen and it clicked to him. Support res. Sorry, Peter. Jesus, where's that sun coming from? It's blinding me. Oh, someone just turned the sun up. Do you see that? Sorry, Peter, I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't know what that means. If you're gonna trade like the banks, you've got to use the time frames the banks use. Yeah, there isn't a bank on the planet that uses a 5-minute time frame. Yeah, it just doesn't happen. All banks and institutions are trading. They may look at hourly, but it's 4 hourly and daily. Yeah, it's price movement. Yeah, look at what price is doing. Why is it doing it? It's obvious. Yeah, this is what price does. Yeah, why did it go down there? Well, it's obvious. Yeah, it's obvious. This is where they're selling it. This is where they're buying it. Just go to these zones. If you look at this on a 5-minute chart, you haven't got a hope in hell of figuring out what the hell this is going to do today. It's going to go up and down, up and down, up and down all the time. It's going to do all this sort of stuff. It's just don't. Just don't. So yeah, support resistance hourly and above. Anything less than that, you're just you're trying to guess where the intraday price delivery algorithms are sticking their orders, which changes every day based on the volume of orders on their desks. Yeah, which changes every day, which is why you never see 2 days the same. Yeah, if you've been in the member streams, you know that. Yeah, there's no 2 days on this planet, on this instrument, that are the same. Not 2. Yeah. So if you're trying, think about what you're trying to do on a 5-minute time frame. You're trying to identify where price is moving to and where it's going to change and what time it's going to do it. Yeah. Unless you have a time machine, there is no one on the planet that can give you a strategy on the 5-minute time frame that is repeatable, because it doesn't work that way. The market changes every day. Think about your job or a job you've had in the past. This is probably going to backfire on me, but most jobs you walk into every day and it's different. Yeah. There's no market that is the same every day. like there's no job. So if you work in administration, there'll be certain tasks you have to do every day. But the order they need to be done in, the time they're going to take you, and the whether or not they're there or not today is different every day. Yeah, it's the same with the banks. They walk in to the bank, they sit down at their desk. They've either got orders to execute on the US dollar Swiss or they haven't. And if they have, it's not the same amount as yesterday. And that one bank out of the 10 that are going to execute orders today, they've all got different amounts they're going to execute. Therefore, price is going to move to a level when they're going to run out of orders, and then it's going to stop, reverse, or continue because someone else will go, hang on, I missed an US dollar Swiss order. Can you stick this one in as well? 100% random. If you trade the 5-minute time frame, how the hell are you going to predict when this is going to turn around? And then how are you going to predict how far it's going to go? How are you going to predict if this is the top and where you should put your stop? If you should use a stop loss, where should you put it? It's 1,000 variables trading algorithmic chop. It's just never going to work. Run any strategy on any 5-minute time frame and then come back and tell me you found one that works, because I've been looking for 20 years and I haven't found it. Tom the trader? You mean Trader Tom? Tom Hugard, you mean? Yeah. He doesn't do that though. You know, he doesn't trade support resistance. He trades the open, as far as I know. He trades a variation of ORB, doesn't he? He trades momentum. He's a momentum. He's a discretionary momentum trader. You know, this is the thing with following people. This is why following people doesn't work. This is why everybody screams and shouts when the signals don't work, because you're never going to get the same trade as anybody. You'll never get the same trade as me, because it's going to be in a different place, the entry. What's your opinion on the binary destroyer guy? I've never heard of him. Binary destroyer? Well, if he's using binary in the word, is he trading binary options? I don't know. Never heard of him. Don't forget, I don't have time to follow people. I just don't do it. I spent many years following people and it doesn't work. I've never heard of him, binary destroyer. But 1-minute chart on Forex. Yeah. Has he got a P&L that we can look at? I don't know. You can trade it. The thing on 5-minute and 1-minute charts, you can make money. Anyone can make money. I can make money on anything. I can make money on gold. Yeah. On the 1-minute chart, I can make money on this. Easy. Yeah, I'll sell it here. Oh, I can't trade it. But I shorted it there. And I wait for it to come down and then I'll get out. It's not moving, is it? But it will either go up or down now. So I'll either make money or I won't. There you go. It's going down. Close it. There you go. Successfully traded gold on the 1-minute chart. But why did I make money there? Because I pressed the button and it went the direction I wanted it to go in. Yeah, that's random. So to make money out of random price movement, the only way you can make money is by wrapping a framework around it that has a positive risk reward ratio. But all positive risk reward ratios end up with a zero sum at the end, because they will always return back to a losing streak, which you will not get all the trades on. You just, this is the bit people don't get, is it's not to do with the ability for a strategy to play out over time with a positive risk reward ratio. It's the ability for you as a trader to keep trading that strategy after 20 losing trades in a row, and it will. And it's the ability, if you have a strategy which has a 1-to-3 or 1-to-2 risk reward ratio, it's the ability to hold that to 1-to-3. When you've lost a trade, 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 and your account is 5% down, the best case scenario on that 1-to-3 is you're going to get 3% of that back. after it's 1.5% in profit, you're going to move a break even on it because you're worried about it moving to 6% loss, which means you will break even on that trade, which did go to 3R, which means you don't get that return, which means every trade you take after that point is wrong. It's not going to make you money. It's not going to follow the strategy. People can't follow strategies. That's the problem. It's nothing to do with the strategies. All strategies will work if the market goes in those directions, but you can't follow them. And the trouble with 5-minute and 1-minute charts is you overtrade. Yeah. What a beautiful resistance bounce, look. Here, right now. Lovely short. It will work or it won't. So if you're going to put a stop loss there, you need a TP there. But if that goes wrong 5 times in a row, then you won't take the next one because it didn't work for 5 times. But the next one that works will make you 15R. You just didn't take it. It's discretion. Everything you do on the 1-minute and the 5-minute chart is discretion, and it's random. It's flipping coins. It's the same as red or black in a casino. He just put up a video where he flipped 400 into 200k. Yeah. See, it's clickbait. He's clickbait. It's just another con man. I can put a video up where I flip 400 into 200k. Yeah. I'll just set up 15 different demo accounts, right, on Robo Forex or wherever. Yeah. And I'll put an EA on each of them, and I will get half the EAs to go long, half the EAs to go short. And what I'll do is I'll set half of them have to 2R ratio, half of them to have a 3R ratio, half of them to 5R ratio, and half of them have a 10R ratio. And I'll sit there and I will wait for one of those to quadruple the account, because it will, because it's a flipping a coin, it's totally random, and by the literally the laws of random physics, one of them is going to make at least 5 or 10 times the account balance. And I will take that account and I will put it up and I will do a video on it and I will sell you something. Or I will just get a load of YouTube views and make a load of money. Anyone can do that. But if he can't come back in 4 years or 5 years time, live trading on the internet every day and make money, it's just another con, isn't it? It's just another con. That's all they are. It's full of them. The man with the gold teeth and the big chains. Yeah. Bamba FX or whatever his name is. Yeah. ICT. You know, they're all like, it's all bollocks, the whole lot. And what's it all got in common? It trades the 5-minute time frame, because what do you want to do? Get in and get out and make 20 grand a day. No one on the planet's doing that. If they were, they wouldn't be putting a video up on YouTube. They'd be sitting on a bloody yacht. I'm not sitting on a yacht, but I am consistent. Big difference, isn't it? Binary guy claims 100% months only with RSI 8 and RSI 10. I'm not going to go down this route anymore. I claim I made 64,000 yesterday on Bitcoin. That's my claim, and I'm sticking to it. I got 100% strike rate on Bitcoin yesterday, and I made 64 grand. If you want to know, it's 50 grand. I just watch him, not following. Yeah, I have tried but lost. He is good at what he does. Is he though? Is he? But just blindly follow his trades, it doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have a look at him for fun, but you know, I'll tell you what. If his strategy is not discretionary, I'll build an EA to model it, and I'll show you it doesn't work. Yeah, now you have to believe me, Abdi, because I said it. Yeah, I said it, so it must be true. Oh God, I used to say that to the kids all the time. If I told you to jump off a cliff, would you? It's one of the old ones, isn't it? I am talking about Tom. Oh, you're talking about Tom? Oh, Trader Tom. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. No, people follow Trader Tom and try and make money following his trades. You can't. You know, I still am in his Telegram group. I mean, I just sort of scroll down because I have no idea what he's up to, but he lost 140 points on the DAX, on the Dow on Friday, apparently. Minus 68. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really. follow him. But if you try and copy what he does or what I do, I mean, you can copy what I do very easily. Yeah, look at that short play right now. Yeah, if I hit the short button right now and it goes down, it doesn't matter if you get in there, there, or there, right? If you try and follow what Tom Hugard is doing, or binary whatever guy, on a 1 minute or a 5 minute chart, if you do not get that exact price, you will not get the result. Because if you don't get that price and you get that price, your result is different. When he gets to there, he gets out. But the reason he gets out there is because he's made X. If you get out there, you've made Y. X and Y does not equal the same. So as a P&L, they will all be very, very different. It's discretionary. It's 100% discretion. Yeah. But, you know, come to me. It's the members group. This is what the members group is about. People come with strategies, and I build the strategies and I test them. The whole reason we're doing this one now is because somebody came and said, I've got this strategy and this is how it works. What do you think? So we looked at it, we tested it, we built an EA, we developed the EA. The EA is now running forward testing the strategy. Yeah. If we prove it works, we'll trade it. Yeah. But I have built thousands. I'd say thousands. I don't think it is an exaggeration. It's definitely hundreds, but I would say probably thousands of EAs over however many years. And they all basically do the same thing. Fail. Because they all use stop losses. Yeah. If you use a stop loss in trading, that order 100% of the time will get executed. Because either you press the button and it goes the wrong way, or it goes the right way, you move it down so that it hits it and gets you out before it hits your target. Yeah. That, if any strategy, anyone comes to me with a strategy that uses one of those, it'll lose money. And I haven't found one that uses it that makes money. Fact. Because you cannot apply a risk reward mechanism to something that is random every day and get the same result as you've ever had in a back test. It's physically impossible. The data there and there has never been repeated in the past and will never be repeated in the future. So if you formulate a strategy based on this price movement and go, I've got a 60% strike rate on it, you're never going to get 60% in the future, because this is never going to happen again. This is what people don't get with all of this stuff on the internet. Anybody that is showing you anything on the internet is basing it on historical data that is never going to repeat itself. And this is what we covered in the very first week of the member streams, how to debunk all of this crap. It's very easy. Very easy. So yeah, I'll have a look at him and we'll see if we can figure out his strategy. But I can't backtest on a 1 minute time frame, because what's his spread? What's his commission? You know, you can't get the same entries. So all he will be doing is saying he's got a positive R ratio on trades and he'll have a strike rate. That's it. You can't repeat it because you can't get the same entries. On the 1 minute time frame, there's no broker that's going to give you the same price. It's just impossible to repeat. This is the trouble with it. Which is, I think, why these people that prey on people out there that are trying to learn to trade, they use these small time frames. Because if I get in with a 5% risk on a 1 minute chart and I happen to nail it, I can quadruple an account in a day if it doesn't touch that stop loss. And I just happen to pick the point where the Aussie goes mental. Today, look at the today, yeah? On the 1 minute time frame. If you're a breakout trader and you took that breakout long with a stop under there, Jesus. Imagine using 5% on that. But try and repeat that every day. One in, well, it's 58% of the time it never gets anywhere near that. See, the odds are against you already. Anyway, I was going and now I'm still here. But I'll go and have a look at his channel and I will see if I can figure something out and build something. And then we'll see if we can make it profitable. But if he has found the holy grail of 1 minute time frame trading, I'm all ears. I am honestly all ears. I would love to be able to trade the 1 minute time frame and be done in half an hour. I would love it. It's just never been possible for me. And I don't think I'm unique. I'm just still here after 20 odd years. That's the difference. I haven't come and gone. Well, I have. Many times I've given up, come back. But anyway. Anywho, so it's a nice reversal just going on the Aussie CAD. Look, we're just retesting double top. So that is a great one. Look at that for an entry, yeah? If this is the reversal alert, which is high of day today, this is the exact point you want to hit the short button, and your stop loss can be there. But the spread is that big, so be careful. You need to put it up here somewhere. But what an entry if it becomes a A-shaped recovery today. And if it is down here at some point, just put a break even on it. And then tomorrow, if that Aussie news on the interest rates dumps this by 200 ADR, you can pay off your mortgage. If, but, when, hindsight. Nirav is also a veteran trader. Yep, he is. I'm not going into that. I too worked in Barclays, as Nirav did. He was on the tea department and I was in the cleaning department. But I worked in Barclays. I did. I did work in Barclays. I could put on my website, I am an ex-employee of Barclays. And I am. And you will go, oh, this guy used to work for a bank. Yes, I did. I cleaned the bins, did the hoovering and polished the desks when I was young in Barclays. Lloyd's actually as well. I worked in Lloyd's for a bit as well. So I am actually a veteran of Lloyd's and Barclays. So, you know, I could very easily stick that up on all my YouTube videos and all of a sudden you'd pay much more attention to me, wouldn't you? Sorry, I'm getting carried away now. Right, I'll leave it there. This time I am leaving it there. I'll be back tomorrow for the member streams at 8 o'clock. Wednesday, as usual, back for the afternoon session for US indices when the website loads. That's because it's not got Barclays power behind it. But anyway, Wednesday at 2:30, we'll be trading the NAS and the Dow. Not a lot you can do with the indices today. As I say, they're a little bit stuck, although the DAX is now starting to move. So looks like we might well get an exit on this today at yesterday's low. So see how that one goes. Right, I'll be back tomorrow for member streams. We'll cover something, not quite sure yet what, but and then we'll obviously look at what's happened with the Australian dollar tomorrow, and then be ready for all the news this week. So every day this week, something very exciting happening. All right, have a good one. Anything you need, let me know, and I will see you next time. Have a good day.